Good morning everyone. I'm here to do my second Beebeecraft video. Now, I'm going to do it in little parts because I've done a lot of playing, a lot of organising, and there's a lot to do. And if I'm going to keep going from one subject to the other and moving everything about, it makes it quite difficult. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to tell you about Beebeecraft. Now, the program that is called the YouTube program is the one that I'm doing at the moment. Now, if you scroll down, right down the bottom here somewhere, there's actually at the bottom here, you've got the affiliates program. Now, I'm hoping you can see that, affiliates program. And there's also the YouTube program. Now, if I click on the YouTube program, it will come up to this, okay? And it's a cooperation program between you and YouTube. Now, the basic things that they ask you are that you have 100 subscribers. I'm going to bring it up just to make sure you can actually read this properly. You should have 100 subscribers and you need to have an active YouTube account. So you are making videos, okay? Now, within 30 days, you'll get the items and you will publish to your YouTube account the opening package when you receive it, which I did about a week or so ago, and you will also make one video a week, okay? Now, they will check your YouTube channel, and if you're accepted, they will send you a video. They will tell you how many products you're allowed to have and an amount that you can spend. Okay? And then they will explain the rest to you. Now, I know when I got hold of this, I was watching Louise Heinzel and I was amazed at the products because unlike a lot of people, I hadn't heard of them before, which is very strange considering I used to do a lot of jewellery making, but then I used to get my products from my friend who's got her own jewellery business and obviously from the craft channel. So this is a lovely thing for everybody to do. So all you have to do is go on their site, beebeecraft.com. Let me bring that up so you can actually see properly. Okay, and apply. Now, I want to show you the products that I got. Okay, now the first products I got, now I managed to find the first one. Let me see if I can get this to come up a bit bigger. With the gorgeous stencils. Yeah, I'm sure you can see them. Obviously I've shown you all these before. And this is the product. Okay, and the product number, can you see here? It says DIY PH 001701. That's the product number. Now I will put these product numbers in the links below. Okay. Now the next one I had was, let me just get the number from over here. AJEW. I don't usually use my iPad on here, so it's rather strange doing things differently. Everything looks so different, doesn't it, when you do things on an angle. 9. And hopefully, yeah, it worked. Now these are what I'm using today. And I absolutely love these. I mean, I've stamped these about 200 times so far. And they are amazing. They are just so beautiful. And these are the animal wooden stamps. Okay? And the number of them is AJEWH010417. Okay, and again, I will pop that down below. And the last one that I got was the lovely antique butterfly charms, and the number of them is, let's see if we can get this right, TIB. But this is how easy it is to find them. If you've got the number, you just tap it in and they just pop straight up at you. Now, if you're looking for charms, I will tell you there are pages and pages and pages of charms. There are so many. And when I was looking at the price of these compared with the Chinese sites that people go on and buy, there is no comparison. I mean, look at the price of this. Right, now this is in pounds, £9.87. Now, if you order off one of those sites, you'll get maybe 3 charms, and it'll cost you about £2 or £3. And you have to wait forever for them to arrive. Okay? So, it's a no-brainer. 90 pieces. You know, it is just incredible. And these are just so beautiful. And again, I have shown you these. And I will be doing more with these on my next video. I was concentrating on the stamps today. And I will be showing you jewellery making with these as well. So that's just a wee look at the page, at what Beebeecraft is all about. So do go over and have a look at this program for YouTube, because it's a lovely way of getting people engaged. I've had several people on mine who have said to me that this is just incredible. They didn't know, one, that they did the program, but about the products and how cheap they were. And the most amazing thing about it all is the bit at the top here. Free shipping for orders over $25. Whoops, can you see that? Which is just over £20 for us. And that is so easy to find that amount of money, isn't it? So easy, because when you go on, you'll choose 2 or 3 products. And normally, if you're going to go on Etsy or any of the other channels, you know, to go and find a few bits, you will spend more than that. And to get free shipping anywhere international is just incredible. It even says at the top there, can you see? Worldwide free shipping on orders over £25. So that's the bit about Beebeecraft that I really wanted to tell you about, so you could find it all and go and do it yourself. So now the next bit of my video, I'm going to get into actual stamping. Stay tuned. Hi guys, this is the next part. This is where I'm going to show you how I do my metal embellishments. Now, I've already showed you about the stamping, what I'm using and everything else. So this is the next bit. Now, these ones that are already complete, I've used Ranger's Ultra Thick Embossing Powder, clear, over the top of the little circles. Now, I've got several different ways that I've been playing with this. These ones are just a 1-inch circle cut out. That's it, nothing else done to it. Okay, and the embossing powder has changed it to that lovely golden colour. Here, I've put the Nouveau Orange round. Now, it's looking a little bit yellowy on here, but it's got a lovely, there we are, that orange colour to it. And if you just use your vintage photo, you get another lovely, get the little edge around it. So I've done several different types. Now, where's the other ones? Well, and this one is the Nouveau, and it's the more bronzy colour one. I'm hoping I can actually get the colour so you can see it okay. So when you do these, play around. I've stuck to the same ink pad all the way through the Saison Saddle Brown so that you can see like a control. If I did different colours, you're not going to see such a difference and how all these things worked. And I've kept to the book papers as well to try and give you an idea there. So, how do we do these? Now, there are several ways of doing this, but this way to me is the best. Now you get a can. Now I've got a lovely box cutter here that I absolutely love using from Nouveau. I got it ages ago, and it's great on bin day. And I just go round a little bit until I know I can comfortably get the scissors in. Okay. Now, so, when this was first done by Angie, of, you know, the Mountain Girl Angie, she stuck the pictures on the metal side, you know, so it looks silver. And she landed up with a problem of having this on the back of her embellishments. Then the lovely Tracy, our Tracy Fox, came along, and she tried to do the same, and she had a right job getting the metal to sit down flat. And the problem was, when you brayer this, if you brayer it the way that you think you are going to make it go flat, it doesn't work that way. It curls it up even more. So don't go that way, go that way if you're going to brayer it, but they don't actually need brayering. Now let me just cut down the middle. Now the other lovely thing about this is, because nowadays they use aluminium and it is covered in plastic, you've not got that problem of hurting yourself. I do always cut off the little jaggy bits, just so that it's, one, easier to work with, and just on the off chance that, you know, you might actually catch them a little bit funny and jag your finger, but it's not going to hurt like the old metal splinters from the cans that we used to have before. Now what I do now is I turn this up and I just scroll it back onto itself again. And this is what I did with the pianola roll as well, so that it will lay flat. Then once you get to this stage, you just manipulate it with your fingers and it'll soon sit down. Just easy. Now, once you've got to this stage, you're going to use metal tape. Now, metal tape is basically aluminium foil, you know, the sort that you bake with a sticky back. Now, I always do this on this stuff because if you just cut it straight, it takes forever to try and get underneath it because it is thin. It is just like aluminium foil. So then I turn my tin over and I just lay it on. Now, don't worry. Sorry, I got stuck down before I'm ready to go. Don't worry about the little creases and that you get, because you can easily knock them out. They will go out with your fingers. And this is just how easy it is to make these embellishments. You see, you just rub them out and they will disappear. You know, you just spend 5 minutes just rubbing them out and you will get rid of them. So let me just cut this off and bend my tape back under again so I can find it next time. It is definitely worse than sellotape. You know, at Christmas when you're wrapping up all those presents and you lose the end and you have to run your nail round to try and feel where the tape starts. This is much worse than that. It disappears completely. Now, what I usually do is I'll do a few of these. In fact, I actually started to drink a few cans of pop just so I could get some cans. But the neighbours downstairs, I asked them if they could save me some cans. And lovely Jodie, she sent some bits up, so I was able to make more of these. Now, the next step is just to glue them down. Now, the best glue for this is Fabri-Tac. The E6000 would work as well, because remember, this is metal, this is not paper, and it does take a wee while to dry. So you just literally wait until this takes hold and they're flat enough, and then you leave it aside to dry off. Okay, fabric tack not wanting to come out this morning. It was waving on camera, isn't it? Well, I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but it is so cold here in Scotland. We've had 2 degrees, and today has got to be the first day it's not actually been throwing it down with rain. It just has been persistent, and it's awful for the kids because they're all on half term here. So they've been stuck indoors, can't go out, because the rain has just been so bad. Now that's where I'm going to leave that one for now, because you don't really need to see me sticking loads and loads of labels on. Now, depending on how big you're going to do these little embellishments, how wide you want the circle around them and what have you, will depend on how much of this you can save. I'm just doing it like this just so it's easy for you to see. Let's just pop them out the way. Now, I know these are a bit damp, but that's okay. I just want to show you what I will do with these next. Now I'm just going to cut these up. Now when you're cutting these out, remember not to snip at them. You need to move the whole thing round and just gradually close the scissors, and if you do that you'll get your circle really well. It's just like fussy cutting and everything. Don't move the paper, because if you move the paper you get those little snippy snip marks, and that's when you have a job trying to make it look the shape that you want it to make, and then you'll get your little different. I mean, obviously you can go back in if there's any little bits that are a little bit bigger one side or the other, you can go back in, but you'll have those smooth edges. You're not going to get those edges where you got you know, you'll end up with snippy bits, or you'll end up going in accidentally too far or going out too far. But that is the best way to cut these. Then once they're cut, I then get my crocodile. Now you can use other things to make the holes as well, but I use this because of my hands, and you literally just pop it underneath and make a wee hole. As simple as that. And that's your embellishment. Now, when you're embossing these, you decide how thick you want the enamel on it, you know, the embossing powder. I've only put 1 on this, but if you want to put 2 on and make it extra thick, you can. I quite like to have that vintage look where it's a little bit bumpy, if you know what I mean. I'm wondering if you can actually see. I don't know whether you can actually see the effect here. I'm going to try and see if, yeah, there. Can you see where it's a little bit bumpy? So it looks like it's been through the middle. It's been knocked about a little bit. And I think that is more vintage looking than if you did, you know, straight off with your embossing powder and did it thick and it was all flat. Now, I'm just going to show you how to put a jump ring in, because a lot of people don't actually know how to put a jump ring in. Now, this is how you pop up jump ring in. Now, you need to find out where the little joining is, and then you twist like this. I'm hoping you can see that. Let me come back again. Twist like that. If I come up a little bit higher, you're going to see it better, aren't you? Just twist. Okay? If you pull it apart, it distorts the shape of the ring, and it is very, very hard to get that ring back to a round again. Now, you just twist it back like this, and what you do is if you just move it and wiggle it a little bit, it'll close the hole. I'm hoping, hang on, I can keep that still. You can see that the hole is now closed. But just when you put it back, wiggle it a little bit. I'll just show you the wiggle again in case I was off cam, because I was looking down, so I'm not sure. So you just wiggle it like this, and you'll actually feel it grate against the other one, so you'll then know that it's closed. So that's our metal embellishments, which I would then put onto a bulb ring, you know, one of the paper clips with the bulb at the end, and attach it to a tassel or a tag or something like that. But that I will do in another video. This is just purely this section about how to make these. Thank you. Hi guys, back again. This is going to be a really strange video coming in and out like this today, but it's the easiest way for me to show you everything properly. Now, today I'm going to be doing the stamps that I showed you a little while ago, because these are just beautiful, and the imagination just runs wild when you have these, particularly this time of year, because obviously it's autumn. Anyway, these are the lovely stamps. I'm just going to bring that forward a bit so you can see a bit better. Now these are the pretty little boxes that they come in. Now I love these little boxes. Now you can keep your stamps in these little boxes, or you could use them for other things, but they show the image really, really nicely for you to see. So there's a bunny, then we've got a lovely lily there with the script underneath, and a bird, and then a bear. He's adorable, isn't he? And who doesn't love a squirrel? There he is. And I can hear you all going squirrel and all thinking about one particular Christmas film with Chevy Chase in and a deer. Okay, so that's the 6 that come in that little section. So I'm just going to pop them out the way so we can do some printing today. Now, all the way through playing, I've stuck with the same ink, because that way you can see the difference on different papers. So I'm just going to show you how I make my lovely little squares, and I'm just going to bring them in so you can see. There we are. Now these are made on the little squares. You can buy these on eBay and all over the place, you know, and they're so easy to get hold of. Tracy said hers was balsa wood. I'm not sure how she got hold of balsa wood ones, because normally when you buy Scrabble letters they're wooden, and these are actually wooden, you know. But they are really, really quite cheap, and I've seen a lot of people using them in different ways on the net already. Now, I'm going to show you how to actually make mine, but the first thing I wanted to show you was the different things that I've put on them once I have stamped. Now here, can you see this gorgeous, gorgeous colour that's come up here? This here is acrylic wax. Now if you just type in acrylic wax, this will come up, and it gives like a waxy feel. That's coming up, I need to stick that back down. This gives a lovely sort of waxy feel, and it's made a gorgeous, gorgeous golden colour to the stamps. Really, really lovely. Such a gorgeous colour, and particularly for this time of year. It's just a beautiful, beautiful colour. So that's those 6 there. Then here, I've used some Pentart paste, wax paste around these, and it changes the look again. Completely changes the look, doesn't it? So those 6. Here, I've left these just plain. I've not done anything to these, and I think these look lovely as they are. It depends on the project you're doing as to what effect you want, but I think they look lovely plain. Here, this is stains that our Patty Veramonte has made. Now, I did find it a little bit difficult when I first started punching, because you can see I broke one there. But now I've sussed out exactly how to get it through without breaking anything and to get it through quite well. But the stains again has given a lovely, lovely effect. It's got the most gorgeous golden colour to it. And then these ones I've just literally used your traditional vintage photo distress around them. And again, they look completely different again, don't they? So depending on what you're making, the colour scheme or anything else, obviously you can change these up. But you will notice I've not used the whole image on these. I've only used part of image. So let me show you what I did. Right, so I just got a piece of book paper. Now remember to always have a little wipe with you when you're stamping off of blocks. So this is the deer, and I thought it would be nice for you to see. Now I always go round and I check my corners, because sometimes when you're stamping you can be a little bit heavy-handed and you land up with, you know, little bits on your corners. That's the boxes slipped down. they're following us. That's that. So that's a couple of deers, and then this is the bird. Now the difference in stamps, usually grey rubber you can get with or without a backing on. And grey rubber is the one that professionals like to use. You can use it on or off a block and the impressions are incredible. The red rubber is the cheaper rubber, and it's what was used for years on all the stamps that you used to buy. And that is why I've been so impressed with these, is that they give such a clean, beautiful image. When you get really tiny images, let me just poke that one up the top there. When you get a tiny, tiny image like this, you wonder whether it's going to be able to give you the detail. But look at the detail in that. Now you can't really get as close and fine detail as that if you're using the silicone. The silicone plays differently on the stamps, and you usually find the silicone stamps are not detailed like these. So this is one of the reasons why I love them straight away. Now they had another set that I saw that when I was toing which ones to get, because you're like a kid in a candy store when you're suddenly offered you can go and get these things to demonstrate. You're like, oh my goodness, which one do I have? What do I have? But they were foliage, and I've not seen them for the last week or so. They must have sold out, and I'm sure they will get them back in again. And they were gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I say they've got so many stamps and beads, and it is incredible. They're everything you could want to do most crafts. See our bear, isn't he lovely? He's such a beautiful bear. And the reason I chose this, obviously, because this time of year you're going to be looking at autumn, and of course squirrels and bears, you know, these are all your colours of autumn, aren't they? The things that you would use. But some of these are generic, you know, it's like the bunny that I'm about to stamp. The bunny, you know, you think about spring straight away, you think about spring. You can use them in summer, you know, and even when you think of things like Beatrice Proctor, some of the stamps that you can get are winter ones from Beatrix Potter with the bunnies in. Isn't he adorable? Hey, he's got such a lovely fluffy tail. I think he's absolutely gorgeous. So there, that's a few of them, just to show you can see how clear they stamp and how delicate they are. You know, these are tiny. I've not actually measured these, so I think I should do that, shouldn't I? Now the bunny, he's under, you know, he's just over 1¼ inches, the bunny. and the bear is just over an inch. So they're really tiny, which is perfect for us. 1 1/4 inches there, which are perfect for us when we're making embellishments and crafting. And they're also going to be fab for going on the corners of your journal pages. Now what I did next was just got a little pencil, and I decided the bit that I wanted. Now I wanted the bird's head here, so I just stuck it over and drew round, and that was my image. Squirrel, I popped him on his head, drew round, and then I sat and cut these out. And it's so quick and easy, isn't it? It takes you seconds to do. You're not going to be sitting there forever wondering about it. So I then landed up with, let me just get my little tray back in again, these lovely little pieces here. Okay, now I've not done anything to these yet, so let me just scooty them off, pop them up the top, and then bring them back down. Now I've used Fabri-Tac because it was quick and easy to use. I did try using my other one, my Nouveau glue, but I, for the life of me, cannot remember what I did with it since last night. I've slept since then, so it'll turn up eventually. There we go. Now, to put these on, let's use the bunny because I love the bunny. You literally just do this, and when you put it on, it grabs quite quickly. That's why I like this. You just sort of feel where the edges are. Yeah. And of course, because you've gone round the square, all the pencil marks are going to be hidden. Sorry, I think I did that off camera, didn't I? I need to come up a bit. I do apologise. Let me do that again. Let's find another one of these. So, let's squidgy your glue on there. And then you find your image. Let's use our bear. And you pop that over. And because this is such a quick grab glue, it sticks straight away. Now, you will feel the edges, okay? So you know you're not going to get your pencil mark on, okay? And you just feel around where you're going to have it, okay? Now, when these are dry, what did I do with that from yesterday? You can see I've been doing so many things here. I've now lost my little... Oh, that's very good, isn't it? The bit it's fallen down. It fell down where the tissue... I put the tissue to one side and it fell over the tissue. These little... They're really, really cheap. I think you get about 4 or 5, you know, really something like a pound or something. And I use these because they're great to hold on to and they work. You then just literally just rub and the paper comes off. So you just give it a quick rub and it goes away. And this is how quick and easy it is to make these. I think that's all I've had, so keep it stuck there. There's your square. Now these would be amazing stuck on clusters. And of course made into charms, which is where I'm going with the holes in mine. And imagine these on a lovely tassel. They'd look lovely on an autumn tassel, wouldn't they? They would look absolutely beautiful. Now, when you're going to put a hole in the top of these, because they're wood, what you need to do, there's my copper dial. I hope you can see this okay. Something there. You need to put them in at an angle. Not sure if you can see that. Put them in. If I tip it up like that, you'll be able to see better, won't you? Put them in at an angle like that. And if you put them in at an angle like that, then squeeze very, very softly. Then come back up and then go down hard again and it'll go through. And you won't have the crack problem, which can happen because obviously wood splits, doesn't it? And then you get your lovely, lovely embellishments. Now, I just loved making these last night. I think I stamped about 200 images yesterday because it was so fun. And I just thought, oh my goodness, the different ways that they look from doing different textures on the top, you know, from the stains to the, you know, you can emboss these. I didn't emboss these because I'm going to be doing embossing in the next part of my video on my little dangles, you know, my little embellishments that I'm going to show you later on. So that's embellishments, and all you have to do with these then is just pop a little ring in the top and attach it to whatever you like. Now, the next thing I went on to doing, yeah, I was having fun. You can see I was having fun. Right, I stuck with book paper on these, and these are cut out with a 2-inch punch that isn't a 2-inch punch. You know, if you're part of Tracy's group, a 2-inch punch is not 2 inches from here to here. It is 2 inches from here to here. So when you measure this, you land up with, well, it's less. It's about 1 3/8. We have all been looking very, very hard in Tracy's group to actually find a legitimate 2-inch square punch. And Tracy came up with the most amazing way of getting around it when you want to make a bigger aperture in whatever you're doing, particularly if you're doing the specimens that everybody's been doing. So if you want to know, I'll give you the link on my next video. So these ones I've literally just stamped again, exactly the same ink, cut them out with the punch that isn't a 2-inch punch, and I've just gone round with the vintage photo. Okay, then what I did was I just cut, when I was doing my what I do when I get my Amazon packaging, I cut it into approximately A4 size so that I can print on it. And these strips were left over, you know, and they're double. And I kept hold of them because I thought, right, I can use them on something. And these I used the tear ruler. This one I just tore by hand. You know, whichever you decide, you get, you know, the effect that you want. I literally just took one of these, popped it on here. I thought, yeah, that's about the right size. Eyeballed it and tore it off. Simple and quick as that. That is what I was doing yesterday. Now from here, I want to make clusters. But the thing that you can do, I'm just moving some bits out of the way, is you could just stick these as they are on the corner of a journal page. Just like that. I think they would look really, really lovely just on the corner of a journal page. Now I'm going to be doing journal pages in my next lot of videos, so I've not gone to that stage because otherwise my video is going to be so long today. So that, as I say, is so easy to do. But what I want to do with these is I want to do some clusters. And yes, guess what? I loaded up my stapler. Yes, I remember to load it up. Doesn't happen every day, but you know, sometimes I remember things. Now, I just wanted to show you these ones. These were the very, very first ones that I stamped. And I've put patty stains over the top of them. And I think they look absolutely gorgeous, don't they? They look really, really beautiful. Now it's essentially Mod Podge and coffee. I don't know how or she gets to it, but it smells amazing and it does a really, really good job. So I just wanted to show you what these would look like if we made some clusters. So this is, I bought this curtain when my Ashley, he was about, oh gosh, about a year old, I think he was. And we'd just moved up to Manchester from Surrey. So these are, over 30 years old now. And so they get used on a lot of projects because they're the lovely cotton lace. I can remember spending an absolute fortune on them because I was working when he was little for a while. There was a company that his dad worked for that they actually did the pipes under the ground, you know, when people are, you know, the waterworks are putting new waterways in and all this type of thing, you know, all the pumps and, you know, any sort of underground things. And I worked for them for a while, so yeah, that's when I got them. They had a lovely little shop actually near where I worked, and I saved up to get them. Let's just cut a couple of bits there. I love tearing fabric. There's just something really, really satisfying about the sound of fabric tearing, isn't it? That's one thing I do miss is Friday mornings. We used to have the most amazing group. Absolutely loved it. Now, Claire and Liz used to be teachers at the high school. And Claire is actually our local SNP candidate now. Lovely, lovely lass, she really is. But they taught my Ashley and Robert, which is quite funny, you know. So they've known me for many, many years, and it's the most amazing, lovely, lovely group. It really is. And you do miss, and you miss the hugs, don't you? Because we're all very, very huggy up here. We all hug one another, and it is amazing how much you miss that human contact and to have that hug. Let's just snip that little bit there off. And I think you're probably all nodding your heads there, because it really is. This is the only thing about the COVID is human contact, isn't it? You really miss having that human contact. It's a little bit big, so let's just move that in a little bit. Not like that. Quite like it that way around. Yeah. So let me just use the stapler and make sure it works. Look, this is hysterical, isn't it? I even tested this out, and you can see I have got staples. It's I think it does. I think it's camera shy. I swear this one is camera shy. I'm going to have to get my penguin out. Oh, look. It is just not wanting to work. How amazing is that? Look. There has got to be something about this stapler and this one. I'm just going to pull that out and then just put these back in again. I wonder unless it just does not like these coloured staples. Now, the reason I got coloured staples was because I used to do the boards at school. There, it's working now. Putting up and taking down the display boards. And it was fun, you know. The kids used to, you know, it's fun. You could find the staples on the floor. This was the main reason. And when you were putting things up in the gymnasium, you wanted to make sure that you weren't using drawing pins. There was nothing going to stick in a child's foot. So if you've got coloured staples, I used to use the purple ones, you can see them. You can see them really, really well. So she tries shaking fabric tack. Oh dear, the pleasures of going live, and yet, well, I'm not live, but it will be soon. Oh dear, shaking your fabric tack. That's the time. So I think these are fab, and you can use them on, well, anything you like. You know, you can use them on tags, you can use them on your book pages, and that's the wonderful thing about crafting and doing the journals, is that you have so much you can use that we did before that we can do now. And that's what I love about it, you know. Papercraft, I've always loved paper crafting, always loved paper crafting and putting things together. I mean, I can remember, we didn't have a lot, my dad was in and out of work at different times, and I can remember going over the shop, and I brought a load of, like, you know, the little sweeties that, in like a tube. You know, you'd get your Smarties, or you'd get your fruit pastels, them type of things, or like chewits, I think they call them chewits nowadays, those type of things. And I wrapped them all up individually. Everyone wrapped them all up individually, and with Christmas paper. And then I got, and I wasn't very old either, and I got cotton, and I threaded them all up on cotton. I can remember doing that, and I can remember making loads and loads of paper flowers one year for the girls, and all sorts of things. So I've always loved doing paper crafts. My mum used to get golden hands. Now, women here will remember golden hands. It was, I don't know whether it went to America, I've no idea, but it was a lovely, lovely magazine that you got every week, and it taught you all the different crafts. And from that I learnt to do, I mean, I could already crochet, but I learnt how to do the different stitches. I learnt how to tat. That was one of the things that was different, was doing tatting. I learnt how to smock. And anyway, my mum actually gave me the magazines, about 10 years ago. Look, Mr. Stapler, I know you don't like me and you don't like being on camera, but I'm afraid you're going to have to behave today. Thank you. Go on, do it again. Oh dear, is it funny? It's got to be these staples. It really has got to be these staples. I'm going to have to change them. I have got the big silver ones in the drawer. So it was just because the other ones are on. Stop it. He's saying he's doing this so that you all pay attention to him. He's on screen longer. Yeah, so as I say, I was given all the golden handbooks. My first sort of venture into crafts was crochet, because you know, the beginning of the 60s, everybody crocheted amazing things and blankets and that. So I actually learned very, very young how to crochet, and of course we learned how to do knitting and that at school. I can remember being in primary school and you were making your needle cases, you were learning how to do embroidery, whereas nowadays it's usually an extracurricular activity. You know, they might get somebody to come in at lunchtime and do it with them. I mean, I've done that quite a lot. And then the craft clubs, when we run the summer program, there's a lot of, like, the kids like to make pom-poms, obviously, but it's a lot easier nowadays than it used to be, because you've got, you know, the pom-pom makers. You're not wrapping that bit of wool around and round and round the bit of cardboard for 3 months. And I've done so many different things with them. I even made wee journals with them, quite simple ones, and booklets and all sorts of different things with them. And the kids love it, and they love to sew, and they love to do all these things. It's like there was a generation that was missed, that didn't actually get to learn all this stuff. And yet I learn, you know, and it's very strange, but there just seems to be quite a gap of them that don't. But now the mums here are absolutely loving crafting with their kids. They are loving making things, and they all go out of their way. And what is even more amazing is the dads are getting involved. It is so lovely that the dads really want to be involved. They want to join in, they want to do crafting. I think the thing that we loved is your junk modelling. Who doesn't love junk modelling? You know, we've had so much fun with the junk modelling, and it is lovely that kids are getting back into it. I think it's the granny thing, isn't it? They're seeing granny do it now, and they are now doing, and it's encouraging the mums. And obviously lockdown, I think lockdown has made a big difference as well. I mean, when lockdown first started, none of the mums here had printers. And I was so glad I had the eco printer, because it was going like no tomorrow, trying to keep up with all the different mums. So there's our little collection for today. So these will be on the next video. Here's our clusters. So we've got our metal embellishments. These are our other embellishments, and I've shown you a lovely look around our Beebeecrafts. So now to go and finish off. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you at the end. Bye. just to come in to say thank you so much for watching the videos today. I know it's a bit confusing when they're in separate bits, but with so much to do, I didn't want to spend a long time moving stuff around and going from one project to another, because obviously you're using different things in different projects. Now, this is an autumn journal that I'm doing for a swap, and I've just picked up our teddy cluster, and I thought how lovely these look on a journal page. Now, I'm going to be doing journal pages in my next video, you know, new video, not bits of a video, because I want to use the stencils and the stamps together on journal pages. I'm also going to be doing a video on jewellery making with the gorgeous charms as well. So I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you for being here, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. It is amazing that you all want to be here and subscribe to my channel. I am so grateful to you all. Have an amazing day, and thank you. Bye.